Let's fucking do this shit right.
Let's go.
Like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. What are we drinking today?
We're having the Starbucks dark roast, French roast, I think. French roast, dark roast, intense and smoky, baby.
Yeah, it feels very smoky actually.
Oh my god, this is great. Okay, everybody, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Bad Decisions Coffee Break. My name is Faraz.
And I'm Farhad.
And we are brothers. And we also happen to be co-founders of a cute little startup right here in Vancouver called Bad Decisions Studio. And we are here today for the very first episode. And you're special because you are watching us on our very first episode.
You are our first audience.
First ever audience. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to get to exactly why we're doing this and all of that. And Farah, why don't you get started with that?
Yeah, so our studio is all about immersive experiences. We dive in deep into augmented reality, virtual reality, motion capture, cinematics, you name it. Anything about immersive experiences.
And we're doing so much research and development in all the stuff that we do, whether it's created for our own studio, to be created in terms of content purposes, to be put on TikTok, Instagram, and all that, or even for clients as services. We're doing so much research on the bleeding edge of all of these industries that Farah just mentioned, that we realize we're talking so much every day to each other.
Like we talk literally every day, like for
every
hours.
Fucking hour of
yeah,
every day.
And then we update each other on the like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen this use case? Or can we do that? And we were always like, we always try to make video out of it, but then it always
a
like
1 minute TikTok video does not suffice. A 3 minute long video does not suffice. We realized the easiest thing is while we're working in the office,
put on a camera,
put on some lights, and in our coffee break, come and talk about everything that we know. Share with you all the tips and tricks, all of our knowledge that we learn, so that you, as an enthusiast in the tech space, in the art space, a business owner, or someone who's not even in this space, in the cinematic space, you might just find yourself a position for yourself because you've listened to us talk about some of the interesting things in this space. So this video or this podcast series could be for anybody, because we're going to be talking about a lot of different things that interest us and Bad Decision in general. And you'll get to find out more about Bad Decision Studio and what we do, hopefully along the way. And today we're starting with something we're pretty confident about because of the amount of effort we put into this specific technology, and also because of the number of works we've done with clients, that we believe we have a certain amount of knowledge that we'd like to share with you that we think we really can help you with. And this specifically is...
We are talking about augmented reality for brands.
That's right.
What your brands can do to, leverage on this technology in terms of marketing, product showcase, branding.
Yeah.
You name it.
And you know what's funny, Farhad? We've seen so many brands use augmented reality the right way and bring so much reach to their brand, promotion to their brand. And we've seen the complete opposite.
This is like website in year 2000,
yes.
You use it right, you get a lot of reach.
Yeah, a lot of traction. If you use it wrong, you're going to waste a lot of money on something that you can have actually no use case for. So our goal here is... we know that you clicked on this video for a specific reason. Either you've already used augmented reality, you know exactly what it is, and you know you want it for your brand, and you just want to know a little bit more about it, on how to market it. But I think the majority of you probably never heard the term AR or have heard of it, but don't have much information. And we're going to be breaking down at least a general flow of what we do when we talk to our clients, what we tell them, and try to educate them on augmented reality. And hopefully that will be helpful to you. So Farah, can you tell everyone exactly what we're going to be covering today?
Yeah, so hopefully by end of this episode, you will know what is augmented reality, what type of AR platform do we have, what are some of the success stories, and how we can use AR for marketing. And if you stay until the end, we will give you some tips and tricks.
That's right. It's going to be really interesting, so stick around. And if you have coffee, also drink with us because we don't want to be alone. Let's start with just saying, what is AR?
Actually, when was the first time you used an AR filter?
I don't remember precisely when it was, but I'm sure it had to be some sort of face filter.
Oh, it wasn't the game. It wasn't
Pokemon Go? No. Pokemon Go is like the biggest use case of an AR game because it had literally the whole world turn into a zombie. And you know what's funny? A lot of people don't even know.
Yeah, that was an AR. Yeah.
That was an AR experience. Yeah, but no, for me, it must have been some sort of face filter on a social platform.
Yeah, same. For me, it was a filter. It wasn't a face filter. You know the filter that changes color and the color grading filters.
So I think what's interesting is a lot of people don't still know the exact term AR because they confuse it with other realities, and I'll explain. So I would say the biggest umbrella term that you need to be aware of is XR. You're gonna see this word being thrown around a lot more in the upcoming years, and that is extended reality.
Yeah.
And this includes your augmented reality AR, virtual reality VR, and mixed reality MR. Augmented reality is essentially when you take a virtual generated computer image, or you can call it any sort of graphics that is virtual.
Like a digital layer, like a
digital layer, and you put it on top of your physical world. And when we say on top, which means you're still in your physical world, but you can now see this extra digital layer. And the entire purpose of this layer is to enhance your physical experience. So it's supposed to make it better. Either through education, through
game can be a game, it can be fine,
yeah. That's the main use case of AR. What about VR?
So VR is when you put the headset on. So if you have, for example, a Meta Quest, you will put it on, you will play a game. There are fitness apps, there are education apps. Yeah. Now you can even work.
It's into another world, essentially.
Technically, your surrounding will change. Now they are bringing extended reality, but what we are focusing on today,
they're bringing mixed reality.
Yeah, but what we are focusing today more is AR, and that I think most of the people will use their phone unless you have the spectacles.
That's right.
Use AR, and then that's how basically you use it, throughout your day.
Yeah.
I think what we need to cover now is what are the available AR platforms.
That's right, because I feel like the most common and the one that everybody knows of is Instagram. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Instagram has probably the most common users around the world. Like everybody that I know has Instagram, be it old or young. It's just something that people have had for many, many years. So it's common for people to know Instagram for the face filters, right? That's like, I would say one thing that I've seen a lot of people use. So the truth is Instagram is not the only one, and it's not the best one either. Each of these platforms have their own advantages and disadvantages, and I think that's why we want to share this with you.
So the platforms that are out there, the social ARs, so the augmented reality experience that you can have on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all under the umbrella of Meta, which you can use it on even on the Messenger app. So that's one.
So for calls as well.
Yeah. So then you have Snapchat, which they call it lenses, and then you have TikTok, which call it effects. Yeah. So you have these three giant social media platforms, each have their own technically AR engine, which they have different softwares that you can build on.
Yeah.
If you are using Instagram, you have to build on Meta Spark Studio.
I have a question from you. So knowing that these three are the biggest, I would say social AR platforms, right? And we're going to get to another type of AR platform in a second. But why do you think every social media giant has AR integrated? What do you think is I think that helps the topic of today as well. Why it's so important for brands. Why would every giant, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat have AR? It's not a need.
It's evidence because TikTok was the latest one who jumped on this, technology, and it's because it creates engagement. The reason these social media platforms, bring all these AR effects is because they want you to stay on this platform and they want you to share it with your friends.
That's right.
When you have AR effect, your face will change it. Like for example, face filters. Your face will changes. You will share. You will record it. You will share it. You will stay on the app for longer hours, and that's what the brand needs. They need attention, and they need people to see it. That's exactly what augmented reality experience helps you to do. Basically,
it just increases your usage of the application, and I mean, it's simply put in that sentence is the reason why these social media giants have augmented reality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to go deeper, there's a lot more reasoning to it. It like another just very simple reason I can give you is nowadays everybody wants to look good, right? When you're sharing a story, and you're sharing story when you're waking up, when you're sleeping, when you're at the gym, anywhere. And the face filters have become so common. Like people are using the face filters instead of makeup. Like people don't have makeup on and they're using the face filters because it's easier and it works. Guys are using face filters as much as girls are. And this is just one of the use cases of AR.
But all of the ARs that we talked about are social ARs. Social ARs means you need to have the social media app to use it. So you need to have Instagram, you need to open through your camera, of course, but then you need to have the app. Another platform, which is web AR, which means you don't need an app. You don't need to download an app.
Which is its biggest benefit or advantage, you could say.
So you are not tied to one single social media application, but there are pros and cons, I would say. And I would say one of the biggest player in the web AR, which they call it, is Eighth Wall.
Eighth Wall. It's the most famous one that we've seen around. Even when clients come to us and they want to do a web AR application, they usually ask for Eighth Wall. But there are other ones as well. We're only going to be covering Eighth Wall today, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. You can have the experiences either platform, but the only difference with web AR is you don't need to download the app. It makes it a bit easier, but again, the cons would be when you're on a social media platform, much easier to record, much faster to share, and then the engagement, the audience that you have. So I would say brands would go to social media AR way before if they go to web AR, unless there is a specific use case.
That's right. So, I mean, that's like the general way of looking at it. Just to summarize again this part for you guys, we have the social platforms and we have the web AR. So 2 categories. And under social platforms, you got Instagram, Facebook, which is together on the Meta. You have TikTok and you have Snapchat. Now, when you look at social ARs, is what we usually discuss when we talk to brands, is because, like Farhad said, it's the easiest one to get into. There's a lot more, I would say, creators out there creating AR effects for these platforms, so it's a lot easier for brands to find designers for an augmented reality experience. But each of these social platforms also come with their own advantages, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, because you as a business owner or as a brand might want to put your filter or your experience on Instagram, but maybe Snapchat is the right one for you, or maybe TikTok is the right one for you. And I think by the end of this sort of segment, you'll find out exactly which one is the right one.
And the important things that you need to note, right? You cannot create one experience
for all of them, right?
No, you can, but you need to basically, because they are using 3 different software.
That's right.
You need to take it to that software, do the adjustment. Of course, if you have a 3D model, you can import it to all 3. It would work. You use the same model, but the interactions, the export, publishing is different.
It's different. And sometimes you have limitations in some of these software. So even if you have the 3D model, you might not be able to run it the same way, run the same animation.
Exactly.
So I guess what Farhad is trying to say is, if you're trying to make a filter, don't expect the same filter to work in all 3 platforms. So you might want to just choose the one. Of course, if you have the time, the budget, you can go to all 3.
Yeah, if you have the time and budget.
I've not seen anyone do that yet, though.
The same filter. I have seen brands who are active in all 3 social media, like
but
Dior, Louis Vuitton,
right?
but different filters. Definitely different filters.
So should we cover the advantages of each?
Let's start with Spark Studio or Instagram. Meta
Spark Studio, by the way, speaking of Spark, it is the software used to create filters for Instagram and Facebook. And for Snapchat, it's Lens Studio. For TikTok, it's Effect House. Just so you know, if we throw those terms around, so you're aware.
So for Instagram, for me, I mean, I've started in Instagram. So that was the first filter
I started with Instagram as well.
Yeah, so that was the first filter I created. I would say for Instagram, the demographic is one of the pros. Definitely.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Because you can see that the age group that are in Facebook and Instagram is so diverse.
Yeah.
So you can have young people, you have adults, and you have even the older generation. And the thing about Instagram is, if you're a brand and you already have established account on this platform, which I think usually
there's quite a high chance.
Yeah, there's a high chance that you have an audience there. And then if you're targeting a specific group, for example, if you're targeting people who are above 30 years old or 40 years old, probably you're not going to find them on TikTok. But then it's much easier for you, to expand them on Instagram. Yeah. So definitely I would say that, the excuse for the voice is our dog, Robbie. That's Robbie is barking on the side.
Sorry, Robbie.
Yeah.
We're going to walk you down later.
But so the demographic is one of the pros, definitely. And the other thing is the multiple applications that you can use. The Messenger app, Instagram and Facebook. You create one filter that can be applied to all 3.
That's right.
So the next platforms is Snapchat's Lens Studio.
That's right. Snapchat Lens Studio is good at...
The technology is great. The AR engine, I would say my favorite thing about Snapchat is how powerful the AR engine is and how quickly they are releasing features to the public and
I
to the
think
creators.
one of the main reasons as well is we've been in the Snap Lens community. We are also a
partner,
a lens partner, and because of that, we've seen how much they actually care about the creators themselves, and that means the creators are constantly giving feedback, and that allows the Snapchat team to be able to increase sort of the level at which the AR engine is running, and we've seen that. I'm not sure if we can talk about.
They released it today. We can talk about.
We can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Okay.
So
this is okay. You go. I'm too excited about this.
Today they just released their latest feature, which we've been testing with it for the past, I think, 1 month.
But couldn't talk about it. We were shutting up.
So today they released ray tracing, which is, if you don't know what is ray tracing, in short form, it makes your filters much more realistic, especially if you're in jewelry industry or car industry or anything that has a shiny metallic surface.
That's right.
It reflects light.
That's
How
right.
does ray tracing actually work?
So if you're a 3D artist, you would probably already know this. But if you're not, anything in the 3D world, I would say the majority of the things that we focus on is lighting, because lighting is how you can make things look real. And if the lighting is not done right, things will not look real, and you have the uncanny valley where everything starts to look weird and you can tell it's fake. And when you can tell something is fake, you cannot consider that an immersive experience. Our entire goal in this studio is to create realistic things. Immersive experiences are part of that. And so this new feature, ray tracing, is not even something I could have thought would have been possible in AR for the foreseeable future, but Snap Lens Studio definitely surprised us. And knowing that now it's available, we're going to be creating with that, by the way.
Yeah, let's create one sick
So
filter,
make sure you guys stay tuned on our social media. Usually on the short form social media platforms, we're talking about Instagram, TikTok. That's where we usually share our own work. Sorry about that, Robbie. We'll walk you down in a second. Come on.
We should introduce Robbie also.
We will.
In the next episode, so they know where the sounds are coming
from.
The
ray tracing basically allows the AR engine to now have much more realistic reflections in terms of the light. And that means if you're doing jewelry or if you're doing cars, like Farhad said, for example, you want to showcase a car, it's going to look so much more realistic. Previously, we used to bake lighting for artists. You will know what that is. But now you don't have to because you have ray tracing enabled. So again, this just goes back to show how the Snap Lens Studio or Snapchat's AR engine is so strong, and it's constantly improving.
They are investing
day by day.
so much on their AR, and like it's part like when I was watching Lens Fest, it was like back in December.
Lens Fest
really,
is
it's their annual, the conference that they talk about all the product roadmap, what has been happening throughout the year, and they are really focused on AR, and I think that's great. Another feature that I really love about Snapchat is the remote assets.
Yeah,
we just participated in Lensathon, which are their annual lens competition.
Yeah,
without remote asset, we couldn't even submit. So for you guys to know, as a brand, you cannot put everything in an AR filter. There is a size limit.
Yeah,
and
this is I think the biggest
pain.
challenge.
Yeah, the biggest pain.
Because I feel like all brands, and we're just letting you know so you notice in advance so you save yourself some trouble. Every AR engine has a size limit. And the reason for that is because you have to understand, and this is something we didn't understand at first either, because of course you want your AR to look the best. You want to fill it up with all these different models, animations that you usually have in your 3D software. But the problem is you have to understand the majority of the world is going to be loading up these AR filters using probably a shitty internet, like
or a shitty phone. So it depends on your phone and internet.
And when we say shitty, we're not trying to look down on anybody. Even with the best phones, sometimes you might just be in an area with a bad network, and that's going to cause a lot of loading time, which means you're gonna not have users try your filter. And honestly, the entire reason why you're watching this video is to spend money on your marketing, which is through an AR filter or an AR experience. But if people end up not using it, that's a big no. That's a big loss. So our goal as the creators is to always make sure that these AR filters are below the size limit. You cannot even go past the size limit. But even within the size limit, if let's say it's 8 megabytes, you want to not max out as much as you can.
You want to optimize it as much as you can, technically. But, okay.
The Snapchat thing that you were mentioning.
So Instagram and TikTok, TikTok is also 4 megabytes. So the max size limit is 4 megabytes.
And 4 megabytes is not that big. Let's just put this into perspective. One of your photos on your iPhone can be 1 MB or 2 MB, like depending on how high quality
it has but it has internal compression, but it's
Yeah,
still
of course.
you
But I'm
can't
just
put
giving you a
videos
perspective
and
in terms of the size.
So it's really hard to work with high quality models and textures in 4 megabyte. When it comes to Snapchat, they have first of all, their limit is 8 megabytes. That's one thing. Second,
That's the base limit.
Yeah. They have something called remote assets, which I love. I personally love that because now you can use their cloud storage to store up to 20 megabytes of information on cloud. You cannot use it right away when your filter opens because, again, you need to download all this data. But imagine if your experience has a flow.
It's like YouTube. It's like when you're watching YouTube and it's loading that little
exactly.
bar, like the ghost bar.
Yeah.
It's loading as you're watching the video. It's the exact same concept here. So as you're using the AR experience, it starts loading up the rest of the models. And essentially that means you have 20 megabytes extra to work with. Now, this, again, as someone who is just considering AR, might not even be important to you, but you can imagine if you have, let's say, a huge AR experience, if it's a portal into another world, you want to have all the size you can get. And that's why, again, just going back to the point of technology, Snapchat is really working hard to improve on their engine every day. That doesn't mean that TikTok or 8 Walls, Web AR, or Instagram is not doing that. They're all doing that. It's just we've seen a really big improvement recently with Snapchat, and we've been part of their partnership program.
Yeah.
So we are aware of all the updates that are coming in, and we know that these guys are working really hard to bring these updates to the community. Of course, if we have new updates for Meta or TikTok, we'll be talking about that on this podcast. So stay tuned in the future episodes.
Yeah, I think the last thing we want to talk about Snap is the geolocation. So the fact that you can actually scan a landmark and then use it later as a specific location AR. So imagine you are doing an event or you have a specific store that you want to have an AR experience for. You can use that feature, which I really love. I think that is great.
Yeah.
That
I honestly, I feel like we should even cover the types of AR so that people understand. But I guess that could be another episode on its own. But I'll just mention, if you don't know, there's so many different types of AR. You have your face filters. You have plane trackers. Plane trackers are the most common, I would say, where you give it a surface like a poster design or a box design and
that's a target tracker, by the way.
A plane. Oh yeah,
that's
a target tracker. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
A target tracker. You give it a target, and the experience comes out of that target. Or a plane tracker is something that just happens on the floor, anywhere, anytime,
around you, basically.
But the specific and special thing about the geolocation that Farah just mentioned is you can LiDAR scan an actual location anywhere in the world, and only people who are present at that location can see these filters. Now, why this is so special is because, like Farhad said, if you have a specific event, you might not want to just have this run on a poster. It will be much more special if your entrance, you've actually built up this entrance door with this art design. You can scan that door and have experiences come out of that door. That is not currently possible with Instagram or TikTok. It's only available on Snapchat. Probably coming to these other platforms as well.
Maybe.
But as we speak, it's only available on Snapchat for the social platforms. And that is a big win for us.
Yeah, so we covered Instagram and Snap. Let's talk about TikTok.
Yeah, I think TikTok, I personally don't have experience with TikTok. I've used Snapchat and Instagram. So maybe you can cover that.
I mean, I've tried Effect House. And the first thing that was really crazy is... So I opened it. Usually when I open a new software, I start creating a filter just for fun.
Yeah.
And then I created that face filter
The cupcake?
The cupcake. you can watch it on our
The
TikTok.
cupcake, which you didn't even make that photo. The photo was from Midjourney, which is an AI
tool. Yeah. So I went to an AI tool, got a photo of a cupcake, and I told the AR filter I want to put it on my face, use my mouth and eyes as as something to cover the cupcake. When I posted that filter had 600 shares organically. And
600
that is crazy.
shares.
600 people took video of that filter and posted it. I'm not talking about the reach. The reach was like
600. You need to understand 600 people using that filter. We don't know the exact updated number, but the last time we checked, it was around 600. For our TikTok account, which has nothing to do with face filters as we speak, is our only filter on TikTok. It has nothing to do with anything. It's a cupcake.
Yeah.
It's not Spider-Man. It's not Batman with a lot of kids who are already in love with that sort of, character. It's a cupcake. And so we had zero promotion for it.
Yeah, just
How long
posted a
did it
video.
take you to make the filter?
A few hours, 2-3 hours, I would say. That was really so. So what I'm saying is TikTok reach is crazy. I
Yeah.
would say, like, and especially if you're targeting young audience, definitely give TikTok a try. And I think when I was playing with Effect House, another important, like I would say, strong point for TikTok is their face filter. They really drill down to all the different templates you can have. Separate the eyes from the mouth, from the nose. Like,
Why would that be useful for the people watching?
I would say if you're a brand that, for example, doing makeup, like the eyeliners, the mask, so you can easily, like, if you are working with a
That makes
creator, they
sense.
can easily work with you and create filters. And people love their personal representation on TikTok.
Yeah.
It shares really fast, and people will see their. I think the reach is amazing.
I think that's the main thing to consider as well, is the AR experiences you want to have on these platforms should even differ. Like, I mean, we'll cover that in a second, but just to touch on it a little bit, based on using TikTok, people love the unscripted, unfabricated content, which means you just pick up your phone and record yourself do something.
Yeah.
And so if your AR experience is sort of in that direction, it would match TikTok a lot more. Whereas if you want to have a world AR, which is an AR experience that's happening around you, I feel like Instagram and Snapchat are a lot of a better choice in that sense.
I would say that, pretty accurate, I would say, but that really depends case by case. And that's the next part. We're going to talk about some successful use cases that big brands use it. And I think you can then map it out as a business owner. Say, first, I want to try this social media platform, or maybe first I will go with these two and see the result, and then adjust, because every business is different, every brand is different, and you have different audiences, different segmentation.
That's
so
right.
it really depends. So
I just one thing before we move on. Do we want to cover the web AR platform? Do we want to say just very briefly? Because I feel like
we can go ahead. And
I just want to say something. Okay. Majority of the time, we recommend social AR platforms for most of the clients we talk to and most brands. And the reason for that, we covered, is any platform that you choose, you're going to have a much higher chance of reaching a greater audience, because you probably already have an Instagram account or a Snapchat account or a TikTok account that already has a certain base audience. Plus, you can promote your filters. That's available on, I believe, all of these social platforms. Am I right?
You can run ads on your
so you can if you have the budget, you can run ads and promote the filters. And the issue is, when you use a web AR platform like 8Wall or any other web AR based platform, the marketing is solely dependent on you. You have to have all of the marketing means to promote this AR, or else no one is going to see it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. However, the biggest advantage is you don't need any application to run these AR experiences. And that is really important. All right, so let's give an example of the web AR and where it's going to be successful. Let's say you're running an event, an art event per se, and everybody coming to this art event is going to be, it's an exaggerated example, but everybody's going to be above the age of 50 or 60. And everyone still has a phone, but maybe they might not have an Instagram account or a Snapchat account or even a TikTok account. It might be smarter for you to consider web AR in this scenario, because web AR is not necessarily hard to use. Everybody knows how to use a QR code.
As long as you have a browser,
especially after the pandemic, everyone knows how to use a QR code. Everybody with any age, because we've used it when we wanted to go out to scan. So and most ARs, by the way, come to life using a QR code, because you need to scan it and it will take you to a link, either to a social platform or to a web AR, which is a browser. And the best thing about a web AR solution is that you do not need an application. So for anybody who might be completely invisible in the social media realm, they will still be able to access your AR experience. So I guess that would be one of the scenarios. We've seen it before. It's worked out. You just have to see if it works for you or not.
And of course, with the web AR, the limitations are less strict.
Yeah.
So, you don't have that size limitation. Depending on what platform you're using, like 8Wall, highly customizable. You can, add videos. It's crazy good. And again, as a brand, you really need to take a step back and think, what sort of experience I want to offer? Who are my target audience? What are the similar use cases that happened before? And then you can try. You can try with one social media platform. If it works, then expand to more social media platforms. We talked about all the social AR platforms. Now let's talk about some success stories that the brands use. They use AR as their marketing tool or branding tool. And I think it will help people really envision how AR can help them for their brand. So I would say most of the brands either offer a product or a service. So I will start with the very basic one. One of the most successful AR stories are product showcases.
That's right.
The prominent example is IKEA.
Yeah.
You have seen IKEA's AR campaign where you can bring the furniture right in front of you in your house to see how it looks, how it fits your space, and you can go around it, whether it matches your space, the colors, the dimension, everything is exact same replica of the one in the warehouse.
And I think it helps the consumer make a much better decision in purchasing the product. And sometimes even it might change their mind in purchasing the product. They might not even consider it at first, but because they're just looking at an image on a website. But with the AR, now they can truly see what the color is, how big it is in the room. And honestly, I've tried the AR. If you haven't tried the AR, just download the IKEA app, or even through the website, I'm sure you can access it. It's amazing. It looks great. It looks exactly like what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And we've tried it before, and it helped us buy some of our stuff. So that's just one of the best, I would say, use cases.
So that's like product showcase. So if you're a brand offering furniture, not only furniture, offering a product that is, you need to see it in a physical environment.
Before you buy it, AR is definitely good for you.
That's one. Let's talk about another. If you are not selling a product, for example, you are an event or an exhibition.
Yeah, it could be an art exhibition, it could be a concert, a music festival, a theater, anything.
Yeah, anything. Imagine with AR, you can bring your tickets to life, your posters, or you can have a guide into your event. Imagine when I hover over my phone over the tickets that I have, something will happen, extra information
Let's
will
say
pop up.
The theme of your event is a circus theme, right? You would have the circus sort of tents pop right out of the ticket. You can have clowns coming out of the ticket. You know what I mean? It's to extend the story of your event. And this can be done, like Farad said, through, if we were to go back to what we were talking about, the target tracker. This is where you're targeting either your ticket, your poster, or anything that you might be sending out to the fans, the audience, before they attend the event.
So I think I remember we did one campaign for one of our clients that they had a poster. So what we did is when you hover your camera over that poster, what will happen is the poster will come to you. It will break open. The character
they were selling
will come
gummies. So essentially, we had the packaging of the gummy on top of the poster, and the package would break right open, and the character would pop right out with the gummies floating in the air. This was one of our favorite AR experiences to do, and it's just one of the many examples of how you can promote based on a specific event or a specific product.
Another successful use case that we can talk about is education. I think that is super important. I've seen a lot of companies use this tool to either teach their own employees using AR or teach other people. I've seen campaigns to save environment, clean the ocean, and recently.
Is that a shameless plug coming in?
Yes, we created an educational AR on Snapchat, which talks about ancient Egypt. So basically, when you play with this AR filter, not only you are having fun, you go through the portal. We made the exact replica of the tomb that exists in Egypt in an AR filter, and you can see it in your home. You can learn about ancient Egypt culture. You will know what are those things, and we made it a bit gamified. You can try it using the link on our bio in any of the social media platform that we have.
And the reason we created this experience is because we are a big fan of ancient Egyptian culture,
and we believe that we don't know what happened back then, how the pyramids were built. And
the thing is, we wanted to create an experience for people like ourselves who have never had the chance to go to Egypt. We are not traveling there anytime soon, but we went to this exhibition that was an immersive experience called the Beyond King Tut exhibition by National Geography. And we were thinking, hey, I want to feel like I'm in that tomb right now. I don't even know what it looks like. So we started doing some research. We recreated the entire tomb, almost identical to what it looks like in real life, put it up into an AR experience that you can try at home right now using Snapchat. And the best part is it's not just educational, it's fun to use. And you're learning as you play through this experience. So this is just one of the many examples.
So even if you're not a brand, if you're like a government organization, like a tourism sector,
tourism
or like
board, yeah.
or you are somewhere that you want to promote a place, a landmark, like AR would be the best choice.
You want to attract people to come and visit this touristic
Exactly.
site. This is one of the best ways.
Like photos and videos won't do justice. People can go around it, see it in their physical environment.
Yeah.
So that's another, I would say, use case for AR.
That's right.
I mean,
And
there are tons. There are tons more, and we're going to cover one by one in the future episode. But I don't think we should. Do you have any other example, or we can?
I mean, there's so much. Honestly, there's so much. We can even give you guys some links to look at. There's so many successful. All you have to do is just Google successful augmented reality campaigns, and you will just end up with many different AR filters.
I would say, like, can you think of any industry that cannot use AR? Like, I think of retail, like the whole retail, makeup, sports, food and beverage, like all of them can.
We've
use
done
it.
a lot of sports related AR.
We did F&B, we did food and beverage, we did sports, retail, e-commerce, definitely.
Well, tourism, technically, if you think about Egypt.
Events, we did art gallery, we did one. So
everything and anything can have because it's an extra digital layer on top of a physical layer, you can always find a way to do this. So if you want to ask yourself, is AR right for you? The answer is pretty much a yes. Probably yes.
Actually, let's do this. If you guys are watching this and you think you're in an industry or you have a business that the AR can't be applied, can you put that in the comments? And we would love to.
I fucking like that. Put down in the comments what your industry is, what you do, and if you don't know if AR is right for you or not, we'll tell you exactly what we think AR can do for your business. Right in the comments. But yeah, those are just some of the successful use cases. I think there's another topic we said we were going to cover, and that is marketing for AR. Now, this can be a whole episode on its own, but I'm going to let Farhad cover this as quick as possible because I still think it's crucial.
It's very important, I would say.
It's crucial because this is where most augmented reality experiences, after they've been handed out to you, the business owner, fail. And the reason for that is just because of lack of knowledge and lack of awareness for the marketing side. And it's pretty simple to understand.
Yeah, it's so I would give you if you are a brand and if you have worked in social media marketing, whenever you have imagine you have a good creative, you have a good video that you want to run ads on it.
Yeah.
If you do not run a proper ads with the proper keywords to the proper audience, there is no point of having that.
No, not a video to run ads on it. If you have a video, you paid whatever amount for, and you just post it on your Instagram profile and it doesn't do anything, that is partially your fault because depending on what your reach is, if you've been posting consistently, that video is going to perform that certain way. If you don't have a good reach, just posting the video is not enough to market. So whatever amount you paid for that video, be it $1 or be it $500,000, that video is going to be useless. But if you run ads on that video,
targeted
right way,
ads,
targeted
exactly,
ads, or the old-fashioned way. I call it old-fashioned because everyone's already aware of this. If you have influencers use that video on their story or share it, then you will definitely have more reach. The same thing applies to AR filters. We've seen so many augmented reality experiences not work, and this includes
so many of our AR experiences.
Some of our own AR experiences not even go out there to people to use because the brands have failed to understand that AR experiences perform exactly like videos do, maybe even harder than videos, because videos you just post it on your feed. AR is not postable unless you record yourself and post it, but that's not enough because that doesn't give you access to the filter directly depending on the platform. So always have this in mind. If you're going to be going and spending your hard-earned money as a promotion material on an AR experience, no matter how cheap or expensive it is,
have a plan.
Make sure you have a marketing plan for it. And that marketing plan means your AR will fail or it will succeed.
So basically how I would put it and how we talk to our brands is, if you are imagine you talk to an AR creator, you created a filter, you published it. So the moment you publish it, every single platform will have an organic reach. Means it will try to show it to other people, but relying on organic reach is like, I'm just trying my luck.
It's just luck, yeah.
So sometimes it can be amazing. You can get billions of impressions, millions of views. Sometimes you might get zero. But if you spend some money on AR, you don't want to really rely on organic reach. So what you're going to do, all these three platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok, have paid ads. Like how you run ads on video, you can run ads on AR. How you run ads on AR, you just go to their business platform basically, and then you can get people to see the video of your filter. They can try it, and then it really depends. If you have an AR game or you have a makeup try on, you can increase the reach
and make videos. I mean, you can make or even organically, you can just make a bunch of videos about that AR. We've seen experiences that have been made, and the clients have never even made a single video with that AR. How do you expect your audience to know about it if you are not promoting it? It's just like, imagine if Nike were to make a commercial but not run it on TV. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, not exactly run it, just run it one time and expect people to go and buy that specific sneaker. You see, when an ad is made by Nike, you see it at least 100 times, either on YouTube or somewhere. On billboards, they try to market as much as they can. The same thing applies to augmented reality experiences.
Another very powerful tool is influencer marketing. That is, I think, I'm not like, I want to say it's even more powerful than paid ads, but I wouldn't know. But
it really depends. I mentioned this already. It really depends. I mean, it's either
it depends
you
on
choose. It depends on the influencer. It depends if it's a right influencer.
But how you do it is, for example, you created an AR filter, which is a game. Like everybody played those, like the randomizer game. Imagine if you are, using this brand, what color you will get or what type you will get. You talk to 3 influencer, 5, 10, if you have the budget. You will say that at the same time, post a video with my filter and ask your audience to create the same thing. It will have a huge impact on your reach because the 3 will share it. All their audience, if their filter is cool, they will share it. And if your branding is in that filter, imagine if you have Coca-Cola everywhere, if you're Coca-Cola, or if you're Nike, people will see it over and over again. And people are curious to try it because now they have seen that face filter or they have played that game. Now they are curious to try it and they will share it. And it has a domino effect. Everybody will use it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of this conversation, you have to also consider what that AR experience is. Of course, if your AR experience is boring, come to us if you want it to not be boring. But no, I'm being honest. If your AR experience is boring, even if 20 influencers share it, no one is going to use that filter. So all of these things matter, but we're considering that your AR experience is done well. Once it's shared by the right people, you're going to see a lot more reach. And of course, we talked about this, the different platforms will also have different reach. So if you have maybe just one influencer on TikTok, it can just be going up and up and up and up in numbers, right? So I guess to round things up, make sure you're doing a planning for your marketing before you even consider doing the AR. So if you're going to be doing AR, make sure the marketing plan is ready to go.
I think we can spend one full episode on how to market your AR and what sort of different type of AR you can use, whether it's an AR game, on a target tracker.
That's right.
So that would help your brand. But I think hopefully by now, which is I think half an hour towards our podcast.
I don't even know.
Yeah. You have learned.
We have no time limit.
Yeah. How can you use AR for your brand? And if you are a brand or a business, you get an idea of how AR can help you create awareness, create engagement, and show your brand in front of thousands or even millions of people.
That's right.
Yeah, that's so powerful and crazy, I would say.
It is. And honestly, there's so much more to cover, but I think we've covered enough for the first episode.
Oh my God, that was the first episode.
That was the first episode. Bring it over here. Honestly, guys, I just want to be very upfront with you because you guys are our first viewers. We have zero idea of all the topics that are going to be covered in this Bad Decisions coffee break. We are interested in a lot of things, and all those things will be covered. But if you want to stay tuned as to maybe what the next topics will be, make sure to follow us on our social platforms. We are everywhere. Okay, we're on Instagram, Twitter,
Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. You name it.
Bad X Studio is usually what we go by in terms of the actual username on social media platforms, or you can alternatively search for Bad Decisions Studio. You should be able to find us. And
if you have a specific topic in mind that you want us to cover, I mean, if you've seen our videos, you would know what areas we can cover. Yeah. Put it in the comments. We will have an episode about it.
That's right. And our episodes will be coming out every Wednesday without any breaks. And if you like this, you might even do more of it. So for now, it's just every Wednesday, just so you know. And I think that's about it. Let's round it up right here.
Thank you so much, everybody. That was great.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
The coffee break of Bad Decision. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
See you guys next week.